Thank you so much. That is our sister Caro Owajiro na ano ine toreboro itagwa Modoereri. That is her newest song that is just so good. The song is called Madhaidhana. Karibu sana. This is the Trumpet of Hope, and tonight we have our Diaspora One Voice Consortium program live tonight with Lydia Tett Olet from London. Welcome, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is very good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very, very fine. So it's a good morning right there in London.
Oh my God, you won't believe it. It's 2 a.m.
I can tell you that life in the diaspora is very interesting because it is 24-hour economy. So it is 2 a.m. It can be, it can be waking up time. It can be lunch time. It can be any time of the day because that is how life in the diaspora is.
Yeah, so anytime is anytime.
So how are you?
I'm good.
How is life in the diaspora? How is life in London?
Well, like we all say, right now, because of COVID, we just thank God for what we have. We can't complain. But it's cold, it's windy, it's lonely, but we can't complain, like I said.
There are people who can speak about loneliness, but it is not the MC. It is not Lydia Tett Olet, because she's a very busy person with so much on her plate.
Thank you.
We are so proud of you. Thank you so much. And, every time we speak about being in the diaspora, you have to mention London because everybody thinks that London is diaspora. London is everything. And that place is so interesting.
I actually thought everybody thinks it's America. Even when you go to Kenya, they always say, ukona dollar. It's always about dollar. It's always about umetoka America. So they don't even know there's anything called London. So it's America. We give you that.
Thank you so much. So I want to take this opportunity. I give you a chance to say hello to our viewers wherever they are. This is the Trumpet of Hope. And together with us tonight, as we always do every Wednesday, we usually have the Diaspora One Voice Consortium. This is a program that is brought to you by the Diaspora One Voice under the leadership and the guidance of one Dr. Shiri Robert, who is very dynamic and doing a lot. And tonight, our guest is coming all the way from London, and we are so privileged to have her. She has a lot on her plate and a lot on her head. I'm telling you, let me tell you, she is a dynamic woman. And as we continue to celebrate women in this very month, she is one of the people we really need to listen to and celebrate because she has done quite a lot. So take this opportunity to greet our viewers and introduce yourself to them.
Thank you. I would like to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much. It's 2 a.m. in the UK, but I'm still up because I said there's no way I'm going to miss this chance with you. So thank you so much once again. And I also want to say thank you so much for the viewers. Thank you so much for taking your time, wherever you are around the world. I know it's different times, wherever we are, but thank you so much for tuning in. Yes.
Thank you so much. Let us know, who is Lydia Tett Olet?
Well, Lydia Tett Olet is a typical Kenyan. As you can see, I always wear my brands, my Kenyan brand. So my name is Lydia Tett Olet, and I'm from Kenya originally, but I reside in the UK. But I try to go to Kenya 3 times a year because I can't stand the weather, the food, the people per se, they're not really friendly. Like when you're in Kenya, everybody's friendly. So I love Kenya. I'm just here by default. But yes, I do love my country. And I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also a philanthropist. And I work with the charity in Kenya. And I'm also trying right now to build a school in Kibera. And with the help of course, so many people in the diaspora who always chip in, give £1 here, £5, £100, £50, give whatever they can to help as well to rebuild that school in Kibera. It's called Shama Splendid School. So, and I also work with different charities in Kenya here and there to just help and see, because what I don't believe that success is how many things you have, but success is what the legacy you leave behind, a child that you help, a school that you build, a food that you put on the table for a less privileged person. So that is what I believe that success is. And that is why I work so hard, and I try that one day when I'm not around, at least there's a child who stand on that pulpit and say, you know what, today I am who I am because Lydia Tett Olet put food on my table. Lydia Tett Olet bought me school books to go to school. She bought me uniform to go to school. She paid for my school fees. She made sure that I went to school, and I felt like this is a safe haven. So that is what I do as a philanthropist. And in the UK as well, I'm a financial advisor. And in terms of insurance, and insurance, people don't really like listening to or hearing the word insurance because they're like, oh, no, I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to die, please. Oh. And I'm like, no, guys, that mindset, we have to now start tearing that mindset down. We have to start thinking of generational wealth rather than generational poverty or generational curse. We have to start thinking of insurance, insure ourselves so that if we go tomorrow, we leave our family with a circle of generational wealth. So I'm also a financial advisor. I'm also on Nollywood movies. I've done a few Nollywood movies in the UK. And my first movie actually called Captivated is just showing right now on Nollywood TV on YouTube from last week. And that movie actually was also my first movie that I wrote. So I'm the script writer of that movie. And it took me to Nigeria in 2014. And it was a premiere in Nigeria. So I'm also a Nollywood actress. It's just sad that I'm acting for Nollywood. I would rather prefer to do it for Kenyans, but again, it's where people appreciate you and it's where people acknowledge your gifts and your talents that you go. So they have acknowledged my gift and my talent, and they've given me a privilege to come and showcase my talent in their platform. So there I am, Nollywood actress. And I'm also the founder and the CEO of one of the biggest events in diaspora called Kenya and Friends in the Park. It normally takes place in the UK every summertime. Of course, last year we didn't do it physically, but we still did it virtually, which was still a success. So I am happy. And I'm also a mother of 3 beautiful angels, a single mother by choice. And that's just me in a nutshell.
There's a lot that I can start captivating from that introduction. One is there is a notion, or there's I would call it a stereotypical mindset that once you start giving to the society back in Kenya, like building a school or even starting philanthropical work, one is thinking about getting into politics. There is that stereotypical kind of mindset that when I get out of Kenya, of the US, I go to do something in Limuru, my village, I'm thinking of becoming an MP or an MCA or a DO. So what about yourself?
I think that's a threatened, it's systematic oppression of thinking of the politicians. It's the politicians who think that because they cannot do it themselves. So they get threatened anytime they see somebody else coming to do it. It's not the common wananchi. The common wananchi would love you to go and help. The common wananchi would love to support you to do something like that, because most of the time people are waiting for somebody to step out. People are always sitting behind the fence and complaining and saying, oh, I wish this was like this. But if somebody steps out and say, you know what, I'm going to lead, but I need your help, the common wananchi will help you. But it's the politicians and the cartels, because of the systematic oppression system that we have in Kenya or in Africa per se, they're thinking, oh my God, you're coming here to help. This is what I was meant to do, but I couldn't do it. So you're coming here to help. You're coming to take over. So that is their mentality. It's not really the common wananchi mentality, which is a wrong mentality, because that is not really what we see. We see this community, this society, this place, this environment needs changing, and we take the leap of faith to change it. So it has nothing to do with politics. And on my side, per se, nothing to do with politics. I hate politics, by the way. And I know they say that our life is full of politics. Every day is politics. But yeah, there is a good politics and bad politics. That bad politics doesn't interest me.
Thank you. Diaspora One Voice under the leadership of Dr. Robert Sherry. And we teamed together with this great team so that we can bring in great Kenyans who are doing great things in the diaspora. We cannot just sit there and watch. Last week, this week, we had a very big panel of discussion with the embassy here in the U.S., and it was awesome. And we must continue that way. Tonight, we have our sister, Lydia Tett Olet, from London. And there's so much going on. And we are going to enjoy the flow and eat whatever is ours and take home. Now, you have mentioned something to do with the Nollywood. And let's talk about that in the real sense. Do you think that our country, Kenya, has taken an advantage of the talent that we have? We are looking at the Firirida thing that is going on right now. After 30 years, that great Kenyan is coming to fame because of a song that he did, and nobody capitalized on it that time. We have others. We have the comedy. We have the dramas. We have the Kenyans who are doing and shining elsewhere outside there. And as you mentioned, you went to where you are appreciated. Do you think that we need to do something so that we can capture the talent that is in our country? And is there an opportunity that we need to work on and to take advantage of?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the film board, and I know it's I've forgotten his name now.
Ezekiel.
The chairman, Ezekiel. Yeah, I think there's so much we appreciating other culture than our own. Mm-hmm. I'm in Kenya and I can see they're showing more of Nigerian movies than our own movies. I'm in Kenya and I can hear every single shop I go to, or even parties that I go to, whether I'm in Kenya or home or away from home, they're playing Nigerian music. If you go to a Nigerian party, or I'm sure I've been to Nigeria as well, you can never hear them playing Kenyan music. You either, if they're playing Ghanaian music or their music, but never Kenyan music, because we don't appreciate what we have. See, like Lupita Nyong'o, she came from sugar. She did sugar. So if the world can produce somebody, sugar can produce somebody like Lupita, why don't we take advantage of that and look at, okay, if she came from here and she was speaking Swahili, she was doing all this, why can't we also now try and pick people from Kenyan film industries, mm-hmm. and use them for growth? But we don't do that. We don't even appreciate us. For me to see that all the time we're watching Nigerian movies, well, we're promoting and watching Nigerian movies and actually paying them to watch. And we also, if I start mentioning Nigerian actors, people in Kenya know them more than they know their own Kenyan actors. Mm-hmm. And I can't. There's no placing blame here, because also the Kenyan film industry as well, where they do things, they do it. It's lukewarm. It's not hot. When Nigerians do their movie, or South Africa or Ghanaians, it's always hot. It may be because of the resources, maybe because they don't have the financial capacity, maybe because of the equipment that they have. In Kenya, probably they don't have it. And why don't they have it? They don't have it because they do not appreciate culture. I'm a dancer. I started dancing in Kenya. When I started dancing in Kenya, I felt like a cheap. I feel so cheap because nobody really appreciated me. They don't appreciate arts in Kenya. You're either a lawyer, a doctor, engineer, or if you're number 4, you're a failure. So if you're in that number 4, which you're into performing arts, you're thinking, wow, look at how Nigeria artists look at how they blow. They just blow. They blossom. They just blossom because they get support from their own government. Here in the UK, we have embassies, of course, like you do have your own embassies as well in the US, and our embassy will never support us. I don't see them support any arts. In Nigerian embassy, they even call the actors to act in the embassy itself. I've seen that. I've been there. I've been invited, and they always say, "Oh, this is our only Kenyan girl, or our only Kenyan." They call me Kenyan babes. The only Kenyan babes that we have, and I feel I feel good because I'm in a different community and different environment. I feel appreciated. But again, I'm thinking, why can't we have something like this? Because we do not appreciate culture. We do not appreciate arts in our country, Kenya. We don't appreciate it. And we extend it. We extend it out of the country. So we've extended into the UK, in the US. It's not appreciated. Because they say charity starts and begins at home. So if Nigeria, in that country, or in West Africa, or Ghana as well, they appreciate culture, it starts from there. So they extend it outside. But for us, because they don't, it's marginalized. If you're an artist, there's where they just marginalize you. So if they've started it there in Kenya, they've extended it outside the country. So that's where we find ourselves. And that's where you find if a Nigerian was to call me, I'll run.
Let me ask you, if you were to meet with the president, or even the Ezekiel Mutua, who is now in charge of the film board, what message would you give them so that we can change that mindset?
Our story, our life itself begins with the story. Life is interesting when you tell it through a story, through picture, because that's when you remember it more. If you see a picture, if somebody tells you something, sometimes you can forget, but if you see a picture passing by and the story behind it, that is how we change our narratives. That is how we change our story. That's how we change our mentality. That's how we change our thinking. So by you appreciating art, allow us to be artists that we are. We have so many talents and gifts. And that's why you see there's so much poverty, because we cannot even use our talent, our gift, because every single person is looking for office work. I have to wear a suit. I have to wear heels when I'm going to the office and carry a nice handbag. What about the gift and the talent that you have, that you can actually act? You can dance. You're a comedian. Why can't we use those gifts to put money on our table? But because they're not appreciated, even if God gives, because it's God that gives you the talent and the gift. But now we've neglected that. And because we've neglected that, we are all running to the city to go to town center to look for work, white collar jobs. We've forgotten the other things that can actually develop our country as well. So I can tell Uhuru or Ezekiel Mutua, please allow us to use our gift to change our narrative. Because you can only change our narratives to story. And story is acting. And acting is movie. And movie is film. So why are you a film that why are you on the board if you don't even appreciate what you have? Is it just for show that you're there? Or is it just you understand, you get?
That is powerful. Thank you so much. We are together with Lydia Tett Olet. MC, she is she has quite a lot on her shoulders, and I want to tell you, she is a great Kenyan, doing great things in London and also in the diaspora. If you just came in, this is the Diaspora One Voice Consortium show. And our guest is called Lydia Tett Olet. And as we continue, there is something else that is coming up that is very strong. She is a single mother, and she said, by choice. This week, we just celebrated the International Women's Day. And I said that we're going to feature women who are doing great things. There are so many single mothers out there.
Yeah.
Some by choice, like you just said. Others is not by choice. They found themselves there. And I know you can have a lot to mention about that. So can we start there and speak to the single mothers out there and the children who are brought up by the single parents out there? What should they know? What should they do so that they can enjoy being in that state, which is not permanent, if I may say?
Well, whether it's permanent or not, it's not a problem, really. And that is the thing, that we have this mindset that you have to be Mrs. So-and-so. We have so many people who are married, but yet they are single in their marriage. We have so many people who are married, but yet they are so miserable and sad in their marriage, because they're thinking, oh, if I'm not Mrs. So-and-so, I will not have respect in the community. It's not about you having respect in the community of the society, but it's about you having respect in yourself, in you having respect and value yourself and know who you are. And yes, there's so many single women out there who are single women by choice, and I am a single woman by choice because I was in a very abusive relationship. And at that time, and I always say, and I've taught this to my girls because I have only girls, I've said, for you to stay in an abused relationship, I will blame you, the abused, because you have the power. You are the one who have the power, and you've given your power to somebody else to misuse it and to treat you like you are rubbish. So I always say, take that power back. And once you take the power back, that means you know who you are, you value who you are, you respect who you are. And if you respect yourself, you cannot allow anybody else to disrespect you and treat you like you're rubbish, especially after you've given birth, you've given them a child, you've brought life for them, and they can look at this child and say, oh my God, this is my child, but yet they disrespect the person who brought the child into the world. Hell no. So I say, if you're a single woman, it is not like, oh, I'm going to get an award because I'm married. No, you can be a single woman, you can be very happy, you can bring up your children, and those women, look, I'll just blow the bubble here right now. Those women who think that I'm staying because of my children, you are actually causing more harm to those children than good. Because if those children see you every day arguing with your husband or your wife, you're fighting, you're calling each other names, what are you putting? What seed are you watering on those children's mind? Mm-hmm. So if you're in a relationship that is unhealthy, toxic relationship, do not stay there on the sake of I'm here because of the children, or I'm here because I'm scared because of the society. The society expects so much from you. So whether you sit there or you don't sit there, they'll still expect. And when you can't give, you're a bad person. You're an evil person. You've not succeeded. It is not an award ceremony. We're not going for an award ceremony because we are married. Mm-hmm. You can't be single and still be happy. And you know what? Sometimes because of the fear of the unknown, we stay in that box. If you're in a relationship that is toxic, that is a box. And you've been engineered and you've been conditioned to think, oh my God, what if I come out? What will happen? If that door closes, another door opens. And I am so happy that my door closed. I'm so happy that God closed that door for me, because if I was still behind that door, I wouldn't have known what is on the other side. And what's on the other side is so much happiness, is prosperity. I have brought up my children, my girls. They are very, I've brought them up with so much happiness, so much love. Yes, they see their dad. So their dad and myself. And whatever is between me and their dad, I do not pass it on to them. But I've taught them to be women of substance, women of tenacity, women. But if I was still with their dad, that would have been so toxic, because there was no respect at all. So if we don't respect ourselves, it rubs onto the children. So whatever the children do, that's what they copy. So you can't be telling them, don't fight, don't do this. But yet you and your husband, you keep on fighting. They will start fighting. It will rub on them. They'll go to school, they're fighting. On the society, they're fighting. That's how they become. And then when they grow up, the boy will start beating the wife, or the wife will also get a man who beats her up, because it's a cycle. And it's going around and round. So you have to break it as a woman. This year, this month, this week or month, we're celebrating Women Independence Day. On Sunday, it's Mother's Day. Women, stand up and take your places. Women, we are powerful. We have the power. I'm always telling women that from Genesis to Revelation, we find women Jezebel was a woman. Sarah was a woman. Sarah told the husband, oh, my husband, I can't have a child. Go and have a child with this woman. The husband listened to her, went and had a child with Haggai. After having a child, when now God blessed her, went again to the husband, chased Haggai away. He did. He didn't even say, oh, no, my wife, I can't do that. Why? Because women have the power. What about Adam? Adam was peacefully in his garden until Eve came. He said, oh, my husband, let's eat this fruit. What did the man do? He ate the fruit. Because women, we have the power. What about Jezebel? Jezebel told the husband, I don't like this man of God. We have to kill him. We have to destroy him. He made the man of Elijah run away. Jezebel, a woman. In the Bible, women, we can see, even Potiphar wife. Potiphar wife saw Joshua, a woman. Oh, he made Joshua go to prison. So women have the power. So if we know women are the neck, the men are the head, it's the neck that controls the head. So when we know the power that we have, men will not mistreat us like that, but we don't know the power. We've taken our power, we've given it away, and we allow somebody else to use it the way they want it to mistreat us. So women, it's time for you to stand up and to take your position as a woman of power, substance, and tenacity.
That's powerful. That is powerful. That is Lydia Tett Olet. Yeah, speaking it as it is. It is important for you to know that you have power. It is important for you to use that power nicely so that you can advance. Now, there is something very important, and I want you to speak about it, and I know that you are equal to that task. Speaking to women, and this being the month that we celebrate women issues, women leaders, and women in leadership, it is important to speak about being independent, being self-reliant. We have seen a situation whereby this lady who is married, but she cannot be able to know even where the school fees is paid, electricity bill, water bill, and even the rent. She doesn't know anything. And then all of a sudden the husband goes and she is there. She doesn't know what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
Becomes a big challenge.
Yeah.
I don't know what is your message. Yeah.
That is a challenge. And that is down to ignorance. Total ignorance. And that is down to, again, coming back to men know that we have the power, and they want to condition you in an oppressive manner, to put you in a box so you don't have a voice, because they know that if I'm the one providing everything for you, then if I tell you jump, you just ask me how high. But you're not going to question, why should I jump? Because they are the ones doing everything. So even whatever is doing to you, you sit down and say, how am I going to pay the rent? I can't pay the rent. Women, it's time for you to get up, go and get education. And let me tell you something. It's not all about the education that I went to school. There's skills. Find your skills. Every single person here have a purpose. Find your purpose. What is my purpose? So do you want to tell me that your purpose, God only brought you in this world to serve one man who is mistreating you, but you're sitting there because you cannot do anything with your life, and he's paying this and he's paying that, he's paying everything. So you are left, even if he doesn't go to school, find your purpose, find your skills, find your talent, find your knowledge, find anything that you can use to bring financial breakthrough in your life. Because in this one, like we always say, you cannot fight somebody with an empty hand. You need to have your hand full so you can fight somebody. You see the Luos, when they're going to fight, they carry wanabeba mawe, mkononi, kuna mawe. Get something, get a stone in your hand, get something that when it's time for you to fight back, you can actually hit back. But if you have nothing, alafu, either you're single by choice or not by choice. And when I say not by choice, probably your husband has passed on. And then now your husband's family want to take everything, and then you're left with nothing. What happens to your children? Do you sit down and think of your children and say that what if, because in this world, anything can happen to anybody at any time. Your husband can leave and kiss you goodnight, darling, and never come back. Your husband who loves you so much, your husband can love you so much, but something can happen to him, and then you're done. Because the relatives are there like this. We know them with their open mouth. They're waiting, and they want to grab everything and leave you with nothing. You think they'll take care of your children? Mm-hmm. No, they won't. They'll take your children and they'll be made in this house, made in that house. Shamba boy here, shamba boy there, get boy. That is what your children will be reduced to because of your own ignorance. So women, it's time to stand up. Stop being ignorant. Stop living in that bubble of, oh, my husband is very rich. Yes, he is, but that can finish today. So get up, women. Stop being ignorant. And I think personally that is total ignorance. Because we all have a purpose. Your purpose is not to come and sit down and to be given everything on a silver plate. Do something and have something in your hands. have your own Maui to hit back.
That's powerful. Lydia Tett Olet, this is the founder and the director of Malaika Dance Unique. Yeah, MDU was created in 2008 after Lydia worked and gained experience in skills and large number and wide range of performing organizations, quite a number of them. And here she is doing whatever makes her feel that she is enjoying life to the very, very last dot of life. And she is happy about it. And that is why she is sharing her experiences with us on this very special program that is brought to you by the Global Kenya Diaspora One Voice Consortium and GDDF. It is important for us to celebrate. This is a program that is going to change our lives here in the diaspora and also back in Kenya. You spoke something that is very important, and I want you to speak about the opportunities that lies in the diaspora. There are so many people who want to fly out of Kenya, be it to go to Saudi Arabia, be it to go to the Middle East, be it to come to the US or even in Europe, anywhere. What are some of the opportunities that you can maybe relate to, or the advantages of coming out of Kenya to the diaspora? And what secrets would you give these people who are coming out in the diaspora? Do you think that we are doing enough, either for ourselves and also for our countries back, for our country back?
Okay. When it comes to people wanting to come over, I always say that there's this information given out there that in diaspora there's money in the trees and there's gold on the road, and you just pick the gold and you take them to the shop and they give you money. But that's not the case. In diaspora, people work really, really hard. And that is why you see that a lot of people in diaspora, they end up, there's so much depression, there's so much stress, there's so much suicide. It's because in diaspora is home away from home. All people do is go to work. People who go clubbing, go clubbing. People who go to the mosque, go to the mosque or go to church and home. There's no even freedom. There's no freedom of speech. And when I say freedom of speech, like I'm actually telling a friend of mine the whole story about me. There's nothing like that because we are so scared. Oh, this person atanitia immigration, huyu atanistaki, huyu sijui atanifanyia nini. So there's always that. And then now we are not even free to talk. You're not even free if something is happening to you. And then you come, some women or some men, regardless is a man or a woman, you're married for ndio upate makaratasi. So huyu mtu anakumistreat vibaya and you cannot do anything because that is the situation you are at that particular time. So I think when people are coming from home, we really need to tell them exactly how diaspora is. You see a doctor, a qualified doctor in Kenya, a nurse, engineer, a doctor, a big musician thinking, oh, if I go to London, if I go to America, I'll start singing. You will not sing because nobody knows you here. You will not sing. It's not easy to get to the mainstream and be a doctor. It's not easy to get to the mainstream unless you've come back, unless you're coming from Kenya and they've called you. They've actually called you to the USA to go there as a doctor, or London or Italy or France. That's fine. But you just getting on the plane and saying, oh, I've been invited to the US or UK. When I get there, I'll stay there. I will not come back because if I've got the opportunity, I'm a doctor. You are a doctor. You will never practice. You will never go. The only time you enter that hospital is either you're sick or you're cleaning in that hospital. So all your degree, your PhDs that you did doctorate is all finished. It's not easy. So I think, yes, there's opportunity. And for me, the best opportunity I know in diaspora is when it comes to children, because education is free, a hospital is free. I know in the US, you guys have to get your insurance, but in the UK, education is free, hospital is free. A lot of things are free, and it's good education. It's good. NHS is good. So everything is free. Yes, there's a good opportunity when it comes to children, but when it comes to their parents, and that's why you see that there's a lot of crime in the Black community. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of children killing each other. There's a lot of children being killed. There's a lot of children in prison. There's a lot of Black families that have been separated from each other, because when we come here, all we do is put our head down and work, because there's so much pressure back home. Your mom sold the land for you to come to the UK. You have to pay that land. You have to educate one cousin, one uncle, whoever. You have to educate the whole village. You also have your own children. So because of that, you now, in the expense of your own children, your children now have to pay for that because you have to work so hard and be sending money back home. So you have to think of all those things before you get into that aeroplane and say, you know what, I'm actually going to diaspora. I'm not saying don't come. Yes, come. There are some opportunities. But right now, things are really hard. Don't think that I can just come and disappear Chinyamaji, because Chinyamaji, you need your papers to work. Right now in the UK, it's really hard. I don't know about America, but I'm not saying somebody shouldn't come. You should. But if you have a good job back home, do not think of leaving that job and coming to diaspora, because you'll end up sweeping the streets. And then imagine now somebody who was a doctor, who was a lecturer, sweeping the streets. Do you know how degrading that is? Your wife is there on your ears telling you, look at you now, you're useless, you're this, or you're even sweeping the streets yourself. You're not happy. You understand? So I feel like people who are coming should actually be advised properly. I never got advice. I really struggled, but that was a long time ago. But now a lot of things have changed. And now what I even want to say about Africa, Africa is the gateway of civilization. Why is it that we have so many people, so many Caucasian people going to Africa while we are coming? Because they've seen something that we have not seen. There's so much investment there. There's so much you can actually use this gateway of using your skills and using your talents. There's so much things that we can do in Africa. So me running away, including myself, I did run away from a long time ago, but because now there's children involved and I'm thinking, okay, now I've got young kids, I have to look after them first. By given opportunity now that my children are older, I will run back to my country, which is Kenya, and say, you know what, let me take all these skills and go and implement them back in my country so that I can see what I can develop there.
I would listen to that again and again, and I wish you can just add a little bit more. One is saying that we live double lives. You have to live your life here in the US. You have to pay your bill in the UK. You have to pay your rent, your insurance, your mortgage, everything. You have to take your children to school. You have to make sure that they are happy. And again, back home, you have to develop, you have to build, you have to invest, you have to please one or two uncles, or you have to seal one or two holes that you dug while you're still growing up. It becomes a very big challenge, but people don't understand all that. What is that one message that you would tell to that young girl or that one young man who just cleared high school or college or university and is thinking, now my uncle is in the US, my cousin, my auntie Lydia is one of the big who is who in London, and I want to go there?
Yeah, I'll tell the young kids, focus on your destiny, focus on your goals, focus, set up whether it's a long-term goal or short-term goal, and focus on what you have. First of all, be content with what you have. If you're getting £100, if you're getting £100 and you're getting 100 shillings, let me use shillings. If you're getting 100 shillings in Kenya and that 100 shillings can actually feed you and do this, be content with what you have. The problem now is when people see things that are happening in social media, which I always say 95% of those things are lies. And what people see as well, when we diaspora go back home, we go with this little money and then we change it into Kenya shillings, and then now it's a lot. And then we want to fly with big cars and dress this and then come back home and come back in the diaspora again and start struggling. And we on the bed, our children, we're leaving our children at home. We're not even there for our children just because we want to go home and impress and lie. And you see that even people who are back home, if they say they're coming to visit somebody in the diaspora, by the time they get to the airport, a lot of people in diaspora don't want them in their houses. Why don't they want them in their houses? Because they're living in probably a little box. But when they go home, they want to do all this flamboyant life and lie to people back home. So now, because of that, because of us people in diaspora, because of the lies that we do and the Facebook and the social media, the lies we give people out there, they think, me too, I want to go to London and become like Lydia. I want to become like Lydia. Do not want to become like anybody. Become like who God created you to be, who God wanted you to be, who God desired you to be, who God formed you to be. That is what you should be praying every day and say, God, make me that person that will make a difference in somebody's life. Not that I want to be like Lydia, because you don't know what Lydia goes through behind closed doors. You don't know what Lydia went through to buy that dress or that car she's driving. You don't even know if that car is Lydia's car or she got it in higher purchase. She's paying £2 every day. You don't know that. So what I can tell the youth is stop looking and admiring things that you don't know nothing about. Focus on your own self. If your name is John, Martha, whoever your name is, focus on Martha. Focus on John. I get so many people telling me, oh, please, even if you just bring me, I'll be a maid. Or I'll wash. First of all, we don't even have maids in diaspora. We are our own maids. We wash our own toilets. We clean our own houses. You wash your own children's poo. You clean your own children. You have this schedule. What time am I going to work? I have to be home. There's no maid here. We do everything for ourselves. So that's why I'm saying that young children, young boys and young girls in Kenya that finished, stop admiring life that is not there. This is an illusion. It's an illusion. It's not real. So focus on the real life that God has given you. Find your purpose. I always tell whether they're women, they're children, find your purpose and do whatever God created you to be as a John or as an Angela, not as a Lydia, because you can never be Lydia. And you cannot say, I only want the good things. I only want the good things that Lydia have. No. If you want to be like Lydia, you have to take the cup, the whole cup that Lydia drinks from. All the stress she goes through, depression, the thoughts, the disease, the illnesses, every single thing that Lydia goes through, you have to take it. Can you take it? Can you drink from the same cup? No, you can't. So I'll tell the young people, focus on who God created you to be. Find your purpose. Use your skills. Use your talents. It's not always about book. I have to go to the office wearing a suit. No, you can make your hands dirty and get put food on your table. Better than the person who is going to the office.
Lydia, you just putting it as it ought to. Actually, Alos Aparak Letters. Hey. Tough name there, says nailed it. Get deeper. Go deeper, Lydia. Oh. Yeah.
God help
and
us.
he continues to say that Kenya, Africa is paradise, a simple garden of Eden, and it is very true. And Win Wango Graham says we live double lives for sure. People home and please people home and pay bills here. And somebody says, Salami Kenny, how is that? That's my girl Lydia speaking. How I really wish every Kenyan would be like Lydia. I love you, mommy.
Oh, wow.
I love you, mommy. And then Ann Nganga says it's a superhead. Don't expect it to be easy in USA. Lil V Kenyatta Ukoapi, this is the place to be. Thank you so much, Cecilia Ndegwa, Dr. Peter Ndiangui. So it's nice to get this message from our One Voice, a Wonder Woman. Thank you, Captain, for bringing Lydia Tett all the way from London. I'm telling you, the Queen's Sete. It is awesome. Winnie Prize says perfectly said. Thank you so much, Lydia. Anastasia Njeri all the way in Dubai. And then Dr. Shiri Robert. That's awesome perspective. Lydia, Global One Voice Consortium appreciates your phenomenal work in improving the lifestyle of the diaspora community in UK and around Europe. Captain, thank you so much. Then Anne Nganga, thank you so much. Good message. Wakenya and Wivu, I'm so sorry, my sister. Good luck with that, sweetheart. That is something that I had just passed. Tabi Morethi, Jane Mushene, thank you so much. Wamboi Roda Kamau, Banis Karaoke, yeah, straight from the Queen's country. Alafu nachokoza kidogo because of whatever has been going on about Meghan and Harry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Alice Koirotodi, thank you so much. I hope that we are learning something, and this is important. Government to create jobs in Kenya should be by merit. My tears are for them that are in Arabian countries. I pray that we shall have more inclusivity in Kenya, regardless of our background. Thank you. Irongo Jane Daktari, good advice. Our sister, life in the diaspora is not a bed of roses for sure. And that is important. Kwanza ndio kitaumana. Next corona crisis itakuwa a norma. Yeah, that is very true. Now, let's talk about something here that is very important. There's a lot of division, a lot of wivu, a lot of, so many people who so divided in terms of race, in terms of gender, tribe, class, social class, where I go to church, where I live in the diaspora. I don't know whether do you see a time that Kenyans in the diaspora will speak in one voice like we see some other communities abroad.
Okay. Thank you for that. Before I even say that, just to go back to One Voice Consortium, I want to say thank you so much for One Voice Consortium, what the initiative is, because what they're trying to do is to bring at least, if not all, definitely cannot be all, but most diaspora together under one umbrella, which is important, and also to bring organizations together, which they've tried so much to do, which I really admire. And they also have different pillars, things like social sectors, education sectors, economic sectors, governance sector, legal sectors, technology sectors, and the one that everybody leaves behind, culture sector, which I totally appreciate. So they do have more than 1,000, more than 100 people, 100 individuals in One Voice Consortium already, and more than 50 companies or organizations in One Voice Consortium. So I do appreciate what they're doing. And the fact that it was just founded last year, 2020 in May, speaks volumes. And if we are there now, not even 1 year down the line, I'm sure and I know that as much as we speak of One Voice Consortium, and we talk about it in all our platforms, then a lot of people start asking, who is this One Voice Consortium? Mm-hmm. But talking about bringing community or bringing diaspora together, it's not easy. Because don't forget that we've been, from the beginning, education, especially this starts with education, and like Malcolm X said, are people indoctrinated all in their lives and given education must be given education in small doses. All this hatred that we hate ourselves, all this is white supremacy. All this is white supremacy and patriarchy. Because when you look at our tradition or our culture, it's more based on patriarchy. If you look at now the outside of our culture and our tradition is more of white supremacy. So we've been conditioned to hate each other. Before, it was never like that before, but we've been conditioned to hate each other. They've called us names. They said, you're ugly, you're big, you're this, you're too dark, your skin is too dark. You have to make it a little bit light. Because of why? Because by the time you're making your skin a little bit lighter like they want you to, you're spoiling your own skin. And that's what they want. Look at now. Before, there was not so much cancer in Kenya. Now, there's so much cancer in Kenya. So much. Because there's so many creams that we're using. There's so many these things we're using. There's so many fake medication. There's so many there's so many horrible things. It all goes back to white supremacy. Now, divide and rule. They came and told me, if you're speaking Luo and this person is speaking Kikuyu, that person is your enemy. Because when they're speaking Kikuyu, they're actually speaking about you. They're gossiping you. No, they're not. When they're speaking Kimasai, they're gossiping you. No, they're not. So they came and they divided us. And because this goes deep, it's not something that we can just stand there and say, oh, from today, let's Luos and Kikuyus and Kabas and everybody love each other. No, we need to go fast and find out, where did this begin? When did we start hating each other? How did this start? And because this thing is not just in diaspora, it's not a diaspora disease. It's an African disease. It's a Black people disease. Because it's not just Africans, it's Black people. We hate each other. We don't like supporting each other. We want to bring this one down so I can climb. But why is it like that? Because we know that in Africa, we have natural resources, we have gold, we have silver, we have all these things. If we come together and start using our natural resources and start using the manpower that we have, the Caucasian people, this so-called developed country, they will crawl coming to us and say, please help us. But because they know what we have, they've come to divide us, that rule and divide, so that we are fighting amongst ourselves. We are hating ourselves. But we don't know that. But the minute we find that out, the minute we come out of that mindset, we can never be friends. We can never love each other. We can never support each other. Because right now it's, what is Lydia doing? No, what is Daniel doing? What is Rose doing? I want to bring her down so I can do it. Look, sometimes you find people, somebody is 100, always sitting there complaining. When you now get up and say, you know what? I've heard Rose complaining so many times. Let me get up and do it. When you start doing it, the same Rose was complaining. She wants to bring you down. Why? Because we've been taught that we have to fight each other to get to the ladder. For me to get up, I have to climb on your head. And when I'm climbing on your head, I'm actually digging you down in the sand. So I have to bury you for me to get up. And I'm forgetting that when I get up, who am I going to sell to? Who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to smile with? I'm going to be miserable up there by myself and end up dying of depression. But we don't see that. We only see here now, because that's what we've been taught. Just see here now. Don't see what is further. But it's been engraved so much in our mindset, in our subconscious. It's been engraved so much in our subconscious that it will take years for it to be plugged out. But it takes you to now sit back and say, you know what? Now I understand. Now I know the story. Now I know why we fight. It takes you to now come out. So if you come out and I come out and the next person comes out and 10 of us come out, 100, 1,000, then we will start prospering. And we will start now fighting because our economy will be strong. But right now, we are fighting each other. We don't help each other. It's not just in the diaspora. It's not just in Kenya. It's not an African thing. It's a Black thing because it's in our DNA. Those Black people, wherever they are, they all came up from one continent, which is Africa. So it's in our DNA as African people. So because it is in our DNA now as Black people, we've inherited it. It's deep, so it's deeply so much rooted in our blood. So for us to start destroying that hatred and bitterness, we need to start finding out why did it happen in the first place. Mm-hmm. If you go to the hospital, you say you have a headache, they give you paracetamol. In Kenya, we have that maramoja, which I like taking when I'm in Kenya. If I have a headache, maramoja, straight, it's over. What are you doing? You're just masking that headache. You're not really healing it because you don't know why are you having headaches. So you need to find out, why am I having this headache? Because the headache will come back again 2 days later. It will come back again tomorrow. So how many times am I going to take maramoja? No, I need to find out the root of the headache. When I deal with the root of the headache, then I will not have the headache. So now we need to deal with the root of all this tribalism, all this hatred, all this fighting, all this bickering. When we find the root, that's the only time we'll be free. Before that, we're not going to be free.
Thank you, Lydia, because of speaking it as it is supposed to be spoken. And are we passing on the right message to our children? You are a mother, and we have our children here. Are we passing on something that they can be able to appreciate later in life? Are we doing them justice in our communities, in our societies? I see the children, I see the people bringing up children in the diaspora and even back in Kenya. There's so much going on that at times you fail to understand what will happen to the next generation or that is coming after us. And as we come to a conclusion of this program, what should parents know? And what should parents do so that their children will not just be like us or like the parents?
Well, I always tell parents that children do what you do, not what you say. So you cannot tell a child, usikunywe pombe, and that time unamwambia we mwenyewe umelewa umepewa yako yote, you're falling on the ground. You cannot do that because the child will want to do what mommy or daddy is doing, falling on the ground. Why is mommy falling, laughing? That means mommy is really having fun because they see you falling on the ground laughing. They think you're having fun. So they want to fall down and laugh as well, just like mommy's laughing. And what did mommy or daddy take for them to fall down and laugh? Alcohol. So me too, I'm going to take alcohol. They see mommy and daddy, they see mommy dressed up. All her boobs are always out. She's dressing up a short skirt. If she bends down like this, you see her panty. What is your daughter going to dress? Your daughter is going to dress the same. They see daddy always with women, other women laughing on the phone. Hey, baby, nakupenda. And the wife is just there. No respect whatsoever for the family. The boy will do the same thing. So children always do what they see you as parents doing. So if we want to change our generation, we have to change ourselves. We have to change our thinking. We have to change our doing. We have to change our ways of life. Wearing a short skirt that people will see your panty or your breasts are hanging out, or you're drinking, you're smoking, you're doing, that is not fashion. I'm saying, like when we were young, me, especially me, let me just, manner. I used to tell my mom, Mami, napeleka nini nje, rubbish. Napeleka rubbish nje. Umevaa nguo, uko ndani umevaa nguo kadogo because you're going out. And then you wear a long dress. And you're carrying the bin, and your mom will just look at you like this, and she's like, amevaa kama naenda kanisa, it's fine, peleka bin nje. Ukienda nje, hiyo nguo umetoa, umeweka hapo kwa bin, umeenda out. You come back, your mom beats you, but she doesn't even know what you are wearing. So if you want to do all those things, fine, do them. Nobody's saying don't do them. Do them if you think like, oh, I'm going to do this to have fun. Do them, but do not do them in the presence of your children. Mm-hmm. And right now, parents are lost. Children are lost. This generation is lost. The other one is lost. I don't even know how the other one is going to be. Right now, we are living on social media. Today I was going to school today. I was taking my daughter to school, and I see this woman, a black woman. She's in front. Her daughter is way down there. Her little daughter, who is maybe 5 years old, and she's on the phone. I felt like stopping and tell her off, and I thought, there was a car behind me. So I didn't stop. But something like that, if I see it, I stop. I always say my mouth will put me in trouble. I wanted to stop and tell her, excuse me, woman, what are you doing? Is whatever you're looking on the phone, is this so important than your child? If that child went on the road and the car knocked her down, or somebody kidnapped her, or anything happened to her, who are you going to blame? So we have put wrong priorities in place. We don't have a priority anymore. We don't prioritize our family anymore, our children. We just prioritize me. This society is all about me, myself, and I. God gave you children. Your children should be your priority. Number one should be your children. And if we start now changing our ways of life, then we will help our children. Otherwise, my dear, we're losing our children. Because right now, whatever is happening right now, especially in Kenya, is sad. It's sad because the children right now, they are twerking naked everywhere. They are doing things that we didn't even do. We used to do it, hiding it from our parents. But now, there's not even hiding it because the parents are doing it, the children are doing it, everybody's doing it. Hello? So what I'll tell parents is, your children do what you do, not what you say. Okay. So change your ways of life.
Thank you so much, Lydia. I would continue listening to you, and let me tell you, we'll write a book. And no wonder you have written a play, because I think whatever you are speaking is so real. It is so true. This is what is happening, and it is very unfortunate. And we don't know what to do. You go to the phones, the children, whatever they are watching on the internet, whatever they are forwarding on WhatsApp, whatever they are forwarding on their social media. Nowadays they have their own social media platforms that are not for you as a parent. You will never know. And they send something and they erase, so you will never know. And they think that it goes forever. And eventually it becomes a very big challenge. Dr. Jen says your children should be your number one investment, from Sarah Munyere. That is what she said. Sarah Munyere was with us sometimes last week, and we're going to have another show with her one of these fine days. And I think once we organize that, I'll involve you, because there's this issue that is there, and I think it is time for us to speak it. when our children that we have brought up very well sometimes change because of what they are seeing. And I don't know whether this thing is happening in UK, where a child comes and says, I'm no longer a girl, I want to be a boy. What do you do? Where do you even start as a parent? Or when a son brings another boy, that this is my boyfriend, I'm getting married to this one. Don't you think that you will grow nuts? I think it is time for us to have a debate. A lot.
True.
Very serious. All right. Anyway, so that we can start the conclusion. We only have a few minutes, actually. I see
That went so fast.
Yeah, I see that on the 14th of March, which happens to be the Mother's Day, you are hosting you are celebrating the single fathers. Tell us about this and tell us what will be happening.
Personally, I think that because there's this stigma about being a single parent, and they always associate a single parent with only single moms. But we also have single dads out there who are doing a phenomenal job looking after their children. And what is so special about this particular guy is that he has 2 children, and all those 2 children have special needs. And the wife left him, and he took care of those children by himself for almost 3 or 4 years, until the daughter now became of age and she started seeing her periods, and the dad was like, oh, now I can't deal with this. Now I need to bring a woman figure in the house as a maid. So that is when he now even brought a maid in the house. Otherwise, he could have looked after those children by himself. So for me, that is that changed the story of it changes 2 stories. One, we have single dads there as well who are doing phenomenal jobs, not just single moms. And 2, he also changed that mindset of people saying men are this, men are this, men are dogs, men are this. No, and I always tell them it's not all men. We have good men out there, and that is just a perfect example of a good man and a single father.
Very good. So where will be the event? And there are people who would wish to, participate and join. We have a single men taking care of their children, a single fathers. We need to celebrate them too. And
yes.
I would wish to know exactly. Maybe when we are done, you can share the flyer so that we can be able to distribute it for those people who are outside the UK who would wish to participate in this. Nowadays, everything is, the world is now a more global, one village than it was a few years ago.
Yeah. So I'll send it to you on your WhatsApp. Is that okay?
Oh, yes.
I'll send it to you on your WhatsApp, because it's very important to acknowledge the single dads as well, because when they say that when somebody does something good, it's always good to clap for them. Yes. So I always clap for those single dads out there who are doing good. And that is also good for people to change that mentality of men are this, men are that. We have good men out there.
Thank you so much. It was beautiful having you, Lydia Tett Olet. There is so much that we have left behind. But before we conclude, let us rewind a little bit and do a recap of some of the main things that we said. Lydia Tett Olet is living in London, and she is doing a phenomenon. She's doing great things. Can you please repeat some of the things that you're doing apart from the Kenya and Friends and Friends in the Park? And, all the other things that you're doing so that people can know how to get you and where to get you?
Well, first of all, I always say that I'm a single mother by choice, single mother of 3 beautiful girls. And they're my angels, the angel of the community and society. They're very good. And I'm also a philanthropist. And when I say that, I'm a giver. And I work with charities in Kenya. And one charity that I'm actually working with right now, it's not really a charity, but it's a school. And the school is there already. We're just rebuilding it. It's a school in Kibera called Shama Splendid School. So that That's my work as a philanthropist. I'm also into financial advice as an insurance, and I know people don't like to hear that. They're like, no, don't tell me about insurance. I think it's time for us to change that mindset. I know in the US people must have insurance, but in the UK it's not a must. So because of that, it's only car insurance that is a must. So life insurance is not really a must. So they neglect that part. And then when somebody passes on, it's always about mchango, and sometimes it's really difficult to get the amount that we're looking for. So I'm into the insurance as well. And I'm also into Nollywood movies. I act with Nollywood movies, and I thank T.Y. Moore, who found me, and also Steve Nash. Steve Nash is actually my mentor. They're all Nigerians, and he mentored me into Nollywood, and also a presenter in red carpet. Every time they have Nollywood movies, I'm always the one representing on the red carpet. So that's all the things that I do. I'm also an MC, of course, master of the ceremony in people's events, weddings, parties, and everything, and also the founder and the CEO of Kenya and Friends in the Park. And since inception, which is 2015, up to now, we've seen almost 40,000 Kenyans and friends come to the event, and that is one of the biggest diaspora events in the world.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
What do you have to tell the people who are watching you? Some of them single mothers like you, who are watching you, and their children. Those are two different groups.
Okay. With the single mothers, I would say, darling, you can do it. Take your power back. Own it. Take your power back and own it. Love yourself, value yourself, appreciate yourself, and know yourself. Know who God created you to be. That is to the single women. Take your power back. And to the young people out there, know your purpose. Every single person has a purpose. Be you, and don't want to be like somebody else, because you'll never be like somebody else. On the process of trying to be like somebody else, you'll be destroying your own destiny. So don't destroy your own destiny. Find your purpose and be content with what you have.
Last but not least, there are so many people who want to be actors and actresses, people who want to venture into the film industry. And now that you are in it, maybe you would be of great help to them back from Kenya and others in the diaspora who would wish to penetrate into that industry. I have one young man in Pennsylvania, and I see the mother is somewhere, and he does great things, and the daughter too, and they would wish to learn from you.
Well, with Nollywood movies here in the UK, we normally have a lot of auditions. So every time we have auditions, it's always on my page. I always put it on my page. My Facebook is Lydia Tett Olet, just like my name. I'm not running away from any debt. So my name is the same, Lydia Tett Olet on Facebook. So if you find me, we always put a lot of auditions when we have with movies here in Nollywood. But in saying that, I'm also looking forward to acting in Kenya, doing my own movies in Kenya. So when I get that as well, if I know anybody who is interested, then we can actually venture into that together.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you. And so many people believe, alongside myself, that you have really inspired so many people. Thank you so much. That was one of my best shows. And Sarah Munyeri said, success in your first and best investment. Your children means success in life. Yeah. Monica Bukinya, thank you so much. Win Awango Graham, Alos Parak Letters. So this is awesome. She's just, now, I don't want to say she, because I'm not sure.
No, that one is my follower. I can't believe he's still there watching. He's always there every Saturday and Sunday. I'm doing my shows. I've said thank you so much. I would like to meet that person. That's one person I would like to meet. Thank you so much, Alois.
Thank you so much. A lot. Our president and peace should set a good example of love to the country. There's a lot that we can tell them. Thank you so much. I support you, and we are supporting you. And then Win says there's something that is happening, and I know that Dr. Shiri is listening. We need to discuss this issue very seriously. One Voice, remember, Kenyan government want to monitor our center fund and tax it again in Kenya. We have already paid for the tax here, and where we have earned the money. So let's speak it in one voice as one. And this is an important issue. So thank you so much. Our closing remarks. Lydia?
Thank you so much. I'll just say be strong, believe in yourself, love God like we always do. And remember, it can only be God. That's my slogan. Because God did something for me marvelous 2015. Not that he didn't do things before that, but it's 2015 that slogan was born. It can only be God. So as you go to sleep, just remember, it can only be God. Love you all.
Thank you so much. We are so proud to have you. And that was a beautiful program. And we wish to celebrate the Global Kenya Diaspora One Voice Consortium under the leadership of Dr. Shiri for giving us this opportunity. And from our panelist, Lydia Tett Olet, MC from London. Thank you so much. And I wish you a very good morning, Lydia, and all the other. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We are just finishing our program, and I'll be back. For another episode of our program. So just believe you me, there is something beautiful that is coming up. So we're going to listen to one song, and then I will. Let me see what we're going to do. How we're going to do this. Yeah, I'll be back. Let's listen to the Kenyan Blessings from Blessings Kenya. And wonderful. Yes. If you have any question, I will be ready to answer. We'll be able to handle that. And God bless you so much for making this program a success.
His face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
The Lord turn his face toward you
and give you peace.
The Lord bless you and keep you.
Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
The Lord turn his face toward you
and give you peace.
Yakora dime na komenya gerere
arotomo dio ake okwarere nago kinyerie wega wake kayerogo tirera odio wake
nako edayo. his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.
May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you, he is with you.
In the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing, he is for you, he is for you. Leke wendo wake ukoro iguru ryaku, ginya njiarwa ngiri na ngiri, family yaku na ciana ciaku na ciana ciao na ciana ciao. Reke we mwene athi mbere yaku na thutha waku, mwena na mwena aguthiururukirie, aikare thiini waku, ari hamwe nawe, ari hamwe nawe. Uri rucini ona hwaini, ukiumagara na ugicoka, hindi ya maithori na ya gikeno, ari hamwe nawe, 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 ari hamwe nawe.
Amen, amen. That is the blessing Kikuyu covered by Tony Cruz and Kings, and it's just good to celebrate the talents that God has given us. Gukuguira iheo iria mwathani atuhete kuria Nyairovi, iria mwathani ahete ciana citu, iria mwathani ahete aini aitu. We just listened to such a powerful program from one of the very special Kenyans, living in London, and that was good. That is Lydia Tett Olet, MC. Mitaboni ya the trumpet of hope gagushokeria gatho muno muno kuhana atia. Good morning Kenya, good evening America. I hope that you're doing all right. Thank you so much for being together with me in that particular program. That was good. And ndramenya ati turi andu arathime, ndramenya ni tukenete, ndramenya ni tuthomete maundu maingi, ndramenya ni tuigwa maundu maingi muno 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 muno. Na tukirikiria tavarira ino ri, it is important to celebrate andu aria amekaga maundu mamagegania thiini wa miturire itu, makaria maundu mega magatu inspire na ithu tugakorwo tu inspired. No ririkane atiriri, success yaku ri ndikanae gutuika ati igutarwo kana iguthimwo na andu aria hihi mana krumana nigetha we ukorwo wi iguru. Success yaku itaragwo na andu aria manaranga ciande ciaku nigetha mahote gukinyira matunda. success yaku ithimagwo na ikamenyeka na igakũrĩkana na ũndũ wa andũ arĩa mangĩtara kana marũgame moige yes haha niho kana matare atĩ nĩ twakinyire kana nĩ twarangire ciande ciake tũgĩkinyĩra matunda kana nĩ ciana kana nĩ andũ ethĩ kana nĩ andũ akarĩa mũkoragwo nao thĩinĩ wa makanitha marĩa mũkoragwo kana nĩ thĩinĩ wa itũra rĩu ũkoragwo. It is important to ask yourself, angĩkorwo mũthĩ ũyũ no ngire rĩ, angĩkorwo mũthĩ ũyũ no ndumie rĩ, angĩkorwo mũthĩ ũyũ no thiĩra, angĩkorwo mũthĩ ũyũ no hinge maithori, nĩ andũ igana mangĩtara atĩ nĩ marangire ciande ciakwa na makĩhota gũtua matunda na makĩhota gũthiĩ na mbere na mĩtũrĩre. Hau nĩho success ĩkoragwo ĩkĩmenyeka. Thank you mũno Penny Pesha, asante sana mũndũ witũ Rahab Remax, Sarah wa Munyiri, thank you so much, na ngakena mũno nĩ tondũ wa hau tũkinyĩte, nĩ tũthiĩte wega mũno na Ngai nĩ atũrathimĩte. Na ũmwe wa mĩthanga, thank you mũno Joseph Mushina, Nyam asante sana Duta wa Nyairogo, mũndũ witũ Moremba Kasi, Naomi wa Boy, thank you mũno Winnie Price, mũndũ witũ Maina L Bansembogo, asante sana nĩ gwĩtĩkĩra tũkorwo twĩ rũmwe nawe hwaĩ-inĩ wa ũmũthĩ, rũcinĩ rwa ũmũthĩ harĩa hothe ũngĩkorwo. Becky Gathonia, thank you so much, na kĩo kati maũndũ maku no marathiĩ wega. Live and more, mũndũ gwĩtwo Banis Karaoke, thank you so much my sister, maũndũ nĩ mega. Ani Ng'ang'a, thank you mũno. Wamboi Roda Kamau, thank you so much, na tũthiĩ na mbere na ikara roho mitambo-inĩ ya The Trumpet of Hope. Haha niho hega na hakorwo na maũndũ mega, maũndũ mathaka, maũndũ mega, tũkoragwo twĩna gĩkeno, tũkoragwo twĩna tũgĩtĩra gũkorwo twĩ haha. Na reke ngwĩre, angĩkorwo kũu thĩinĩ wa itũra rĩrĩa ũikaraga nĩ kũrĩ na andũ mekĩte maũndũ manene na nĩ mara succeed, kana nĩ ciana citũ iria irahũra mĩbira, kana nĩ andũ arĩa marĩ thĩinĩ wa jeshi, kana nĩ andũ arĩa maruta mawĩra matiganĩte, very very good workers there, na no wende tũkorwo tũgĩ-feature success stories ciao rĩ, please do me a favor, just hit on me, yeah. Hurira thimo ujire atiriri kuna na kuna hena mutumia. I don't mind driving to come and feature that story. I don't mind flying to come and feature that story. I can't ramenya few at the thĩinĩ wa itũra rĩu rĩanyu kwĩna mũndũ urekondo kana nĩ airĩtu aitũ kana anake arĩa me thĩinĩ wa jeshi, kana nĩ ciana citũ iria irahũra mĩbira kana cirathaka mathako matiganĩte thĩinĩ wa matũra kana thĩinĩ wa mathukuru na mageka maũndũ manene mũno na mega, na no wende tũkoragwo tũgĩ-feature stories icio rĩ, let us know so that we can feature those stories in our programs. And I know that we are going to change the narratives. Nigetha tuonie thĩ yothe atĩ na thĩinĩ wa matũra maitũ kwĩna andũ mareka maũndũ magegania na maga-succeed. We need to have those success stories featured. We need to have those success stories featured. Just call me and tutapanga vile nitafanya hiyo program, yeah. Ndirathire handu ndirakora ndagĩtarĩ ũcio we wĩra wake, he's a pharmacist and niwe ũrahe andũ cindano kana vaccines cia COVID-19, vaccines na gũkũ Houston, yeah. Athiĩ tũraria nake Gĩkũyũ etagwo Wainaina Kefa, yeah. Etagwo Wainaina, athiĩ gũtheca cindano agĩkwaragiria Gĩkũyũ. Yeah, he's called Dr. Kefa Wainaina. He's a pharmacist, yeah. Na agacoka agakorwo nĩ ahetwo contract ĩyo nĩ thirikari nĩ tondũ wa gũtigĩrĩra andũ nĩ mathecwo njanjo ya COVID. You know, such a story, it feels very nice. Kwĩna ũngĩ nake nĩ ũmwe wa arĩa mararuta wĩra wa gũthondeka njanjo icio ciraheanwo, rĩu we ti kũheana araheana, nĩ kũmĩthondeka. Success stories. Nego kwarĩria gĩ Kenya, athomeire Kenya, agathiĩ primary Kenya, agathiĩ high school Kenya, agathiĩ university ya mbere Kenya, akaruta wĩra Kenya, agacoka Ngai akamũrathima agoka America, akaruta wĩra mũnene mũno. Those are the stories that we want to hear. Kana ũgathiĩ ũgakora mwanake ũngĩ tongĩ ndĩrakorire kũrĩa gwĩtagwo Florida, aratwarithia ndege iria cia jeshi nene mũno, no arakwarĩria Gĩkũyũ, athomeire Kenya, aciarirwo Kenya, agathomera Kenya, agacoka akoimagara akagĩa na mweke wa kumagara agathiĩ thĩinĩ wa mabũrũri ma nanja. Kũu nĩkuo aratwarithĩria ndege cia jeshi cia bũrũri wĩtagwo America, no nĩ Mũkenya. niki kugiria twitire undu tocio niki kugiria twitire undu tocio kana ugakoraga mundu ungi thine hindi no tukwina covid-19 thumburite andu aingi muno urakora ungi nina araruta wira aga succeed thine wa kambuni yao akaheo kinyagia ngerenwa thine wa kambuni yao ni tondu wa wira uria arutaga erutire na ngoro imwe nene muno. So we need to celebrate our very own, thine wa mavururi maya atukoragwo tugiikara. So thank you so much ni tondu wa gwitikira tukorwo twirumwe nawe. This is the trumpet of hope. We are blessed, na ikorwo wi hau uguo na ni uwi mundu tungivatara gukorwo tugifeature kana tukiaria uhoro wake, kana ni shushu mukuru, kana ni guka, kana ni mwanake, kana ni muiritu. We are open, we are ready to feature these stories here in the trumpet of hope. Thank you muno ni tondu wa gwitikira tukorwo twirumwe nawe. Jitagwo Captain Njoroge wa Njeri. Ngirikiria gicunje giki tondu ni ngurikiria gicunje giki, and then I will proceed on with the other things. No ni gwenda gukurehera ndumiriri cigano na cia kindu gitagwo wonjoria. I want to bring you a few messages right here, na agoririkanie ati kambuni ya Bountiful Safaris, kambuni ya Bountiful Safaris itogoragio na mundu witagwo Esther, ni makuhaririirie thavari kana ngendo thaka muno cia hindi no ya Easter. And during this time of Easter, it is important for you to prepare yourself. Ugenda guthie kuhuruka handu aria na kambuni ya Bountiful Safaris gitumini tondu amena packages thaka muno cia kuwe na family yaku guthie kuhuruka. Do the booking right away. Share thini wa website ya Bountiful Safaris nigetha umenye makiria. Website ya Bountiful Safaris, that is bountifulsafaris.com. Kana uhurire Esther thimu namba yake ni 0724 840 482 0724 840 482. Tugithi na mbere kunyitanira hagu uguo nguririkania ati kambuni ya Adventures marakwenderia nyumba no broti kuria gwitagwo Juja Kalimoni Block 36. Broti no cia Juja Kalimoni Block 36 ciina title na ni broti theru muno. Ungienda kumenya makiria hurira mundu witagwo Jean K, namba yake ya thimo Jean K, namba yake ya thimo ni 0722 980 106 0722 980 106 Jean K. Na ni egutariria wega muno uria ugikanigetha korwo ri umwe wa aria amegutwika ene broti ici cia magania muno ci haria Juja Kalimoni. Na broti ici cina title, broti ici cina mai, broti ici ni jirigire. It is 4 kilometers from Thika Super Highway and 1 kilometer from the Tamangt Juja Road. Na hevata wa kwigira na broti ici, it is 1.8 million. Na broti ici cio thereke gwire na tondu ni irathie ta mwaki wa githakari ndukanuigage ati ndiakwirire. So akoni ukwenda kwigira na broti ici, mundu gwitwo Ruth Nyamnyams, mutieke nayo mwike nayo win prize ni waigwa ya win prize ni waigwa win wango Graham. Haha ni handu hega muno ungigurira kaburoti na ndukanuigage ati ndiakwirire ndukanuigage mundu gwitwo Maina Elbanse Mbogo duweka mwe tuliganie na hau uguo ya ukuriha deposit ya 600 kana 500 kana 800 besha shigio kuriha mwaka mugima na maundu maku mothe mekoro me maroboye Thank you so much. Have a very good night. God bless you so much. Ni dake na niko nyitanira hamwe nawe thine wa gicunje kiu gitu kiuma kia magania muno na gaithe witu arothi na bena gutwika wega ngirikiriria kambuni ya Certified Homes. Certified Homes, they bring you a very nice project, room ruti magakorera migunda kundu ya room ruti na mena Sukari Heights na niwamenya muhindi ni ara mushaina ni arathire kwambiriria project ino ya Sukari Heights. Uguo hevata wa kumahurira thimu nigetha menye kana hena nyumba itigarite kuria kahawa Sukari Heights. This is Certified Homes. Na waigwa riu wendo gukio icio cia Sukari Heights no thie kundu witagwo room ruti weyere kavroti ka 50 by 100 na weyere kavroti ka ukenda kindu gitagwo matunda mahandetwo ko. So it is investment right away. Matunda mahandetwo ku kwa wingi. It is a 499. It is a 499. Maudu makinya hau ndikiuge atia ni wa Njeri tiga gucokia ngatho. We'll be back. A Winnie Prize will be back. Mundu gwitwo Rahab will be back. Suzy Ben, thank you so much. Na umenitupa lakini ni sawa tu. Nakupenda tu hata ukinitupa. Igwe mudu ayugithagia nakupenda tu hata ukinitupa. Yeah. Now, the House voted to clear the 1.9 trillion. So maybe hivi karibuni nitoko kiaria horo wa kindu gitagwo is stimulus. Yeah. Did you hear this story? A woman in abusive marriage who killed husband jailed for 1 day. Judge urges women to free from such men. Did you hear that? A woman in abusive marriage who killed husband jailed for 1 day. Judge urges women to free from such men. That is in our newspaper today. A Siaya court has handed a 1-day non-custodial sentence to a 49-year-old woman who killed her husband in a domestic row gone. While delivering the judgment, Judge Roslyn Amburili of the High Court in Siaya noted that the accused, Trofena Aswani, had suffered immensely at the hands of her abusive husband, who constantly threatened to kill her over a title deed. According to Judge Aburili, Mrs. Aswani would be remembered as a butchered, battered, dehumanized, and a violated woman who had no voice and who persevered through the domestic violence meted on her by her late husband, who was described as irresponsible and violent. Okay, wadeto. What's next topic? I need to kuchangia ndereti. Katabe tuthikirie ndumiriri haha.
Why should you invest in Kawaskari? Kawaskari is the fastest growing suburb in Nairobi, and it's centrally located within close vicinity to all major amenities, from malls, from hospitals, from supermarkets, from international schools. So I invite you to invest in Kawaskari because it's the next big thing happening in real estate.
We used to believe that when you talk about posh estates, you must talk of Modaiga, you must talk of Kileleshwa, and so forth and so forth. Kahawaskari is taking up Thika Road. It is coming up. Every good thing is happening at Kahawaskari. Now, what does this mean? Population is growing, but land is not expanding. So it is for this one reason that everybody wants to get somewhere that they can secure at this time, even for their future. Visit Kahawaskari, know about the growth rate and everything that is happening there, and out of the same, Kahawaskari will never part from your mouth.
Looking at investments, Kahawaskari is the best option. Talk of how many institutions we have at the moment in Kahawaskari, and still there are more coming up. Property investments yield is high as well as returns. That is rent. When you're looking at from rental, Airbnb, furnished apartments. So look no further. Kahawaskari is the best investment option.
Talk of proximity. Kahawaskari is only 15 minutes drive from the CBD, 25 minutes from JKIA. We talk of international school, Peponi School, Wood Creek School. We talk of hospitals. We have Kenyatta Referral Hospital. We have the Aga Khan. If you're looking for a place to call home, if you're looking for a place to invest, Kahawaskari is the place.
Thank you so much. That is a beautiful project, Kahawaskari certified homes. Thank you muno 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 ni tondu hau twakinyia mujitekirie twambe turugamire hau thaici na nino tuguthie na mbere na maundu mangi maingi maria tukuhaririirie, this being the trumpet of hope. Asante sana ni tondu wa hau twakinya, ni tondu wa hau twakinya na mitambo ni the trumpet of hope.